I am the super hot baddie that's crashing out, and if there was any confusion there, babe, rude. That's literally rude. Um, I don't know who's gonna watch this. Probably no one ever, because genuinely, I've tanked. I've tanked, babe, but that's okay. As you can see in New York, I've just been drawing a ton in my bedroom, and babe, that's a sign that I need help. I need help because I don't have a job. Still. That's a bit of a lie. I have a freelance gig now. It's like a video editing position. Shout out Olive. They're literally a baddie that does ceramics, and I need to like edit their videos and stuff. But in general, babe, I've applied to over 150 jobs and I cannot get anything. Hello. And it's actually insane because you think I'm exaggerating, but I'm literally not. 150 jobs. Over that. Over all of that. Hello. And some of the jobs are literally ranging from a bakery job to baristaing, dishwashing, studio assistant positions, robot foundry. I was gonna literally build robot parts and put them in boxes for children to use for 8 hours a day. I was literally gonna do that and I got rejected. I got rejected for putting things in boxes, and honestly, they were low key real for rejecting me because tell me why. The interview was crazy. I got the interview. Yeah, not to brag, but I got an interview, and when I was there, they had me answer all these different questions about like tell me about yourself, your past job experience, whatnot. And while I was answering those questions, I had to sort things and count things and make things. So there were three challenges. The first being that I had to count 100 beads out while I was talking to them. Okay. And I was counting them. I was separating into the groups of fives, and I was grouping the fives together to make tens. And then, babe, I had an efficient process for that one. But then tell me why I counted 97, and I was like, oh, did I mess it up? Did I mess this up? No, it was a trick question, and I literally got that correct. But the second test, y'all, is where I failed. Is where I literally flopped and I chopped. There was a button switch that I had to create where you had to attach two different wires onto this little button unit or whatever. And when I looked at it, I was like, okay, cool. Like I was more concerned with how to wrap the wire around and attach it to the unit. But what I didn't see, y'all, was that of course my dumbass didn't realize there was a positive and a negative wire. Babe, so at the end of like me assembling five different button switches, I literally give it back to the person and I'm like, period. Period. I literally did that. I did that so quick, so good, so fun. Literally, they were like, do you see what you did wrong? And I was like, no, what did I do wrong? And they were like, you see, one of them is a positive wire and one of them is a negative wire. And even randomly, you got none of your switches correct. They didn't say that, but in my brain, that's what they said. Because, babe, tell me what, I looked at all the button switches and literally none of them had a positive and a negative wire. Is that possible, actually? Mathematically, is that possible? Yeah, I think it's possible. Maybe one of them was correct, but babe, that was a flop and a chop. And the third one was me folding a paper swan while I was talking through the interview, and I did that so good. Although low key, my swan was kind of fucked. My swan was kind of fucked up, but in general, um, that was crazy because if I did get the job, I'd have to commute an hour and 15 minutes every single day, or the days that I was working, and this just goes back to how I literally was gonna do the same thing for a bakery job. Now, some of y'all don't know, but I moved to New York. I moved to New York. I'm the typical New York transplant. It's actually so bad. Like I think about it every day. I'm like, wow, like this is like not a vibe. But a lot of people are transplants. And I moved to Bushwick, which is the very typical queer spot. Very, very queer. Every gay goes to my damn gym. Every gay I see, I have seen on a dating app. And yes, I'm on dating apps. It literally be like that. It'd be like that because babes, that's just the economy right now. The economy is forcing me to go on a dating app. Which oh my god, I need to get into that too. Because you will not believe what happened when I went on a date with a finance man. Never again. Never again. Okay, but let me wind it back a bit. I got another job interview at a bakery that was in the Upper East Side, and it was an hour and a half away. I bought this black shirt specifically for that, and I was on a trial run. So essentially, I got this fucking black sheet shirt, which was $15 from Old Navy because Target ran out of them. And I show up to the job, and I'm like, yeah, I can do baristaing, I can do all of this stuff. And then genuinely, oh my god, when I was there, they're like, okay, you done baristaing, that's chill. Like, thank God you can because we need a barista. However, we just want you to learn the front like desk and the front register. So I was learning the little things, I was taking people's dishes, I was cleaning up their tables and whatnot. It was a fun, chill vibe. All of which I did not get paid for because I guess the first training day was literally supposed to be like the freebie, and then if you move on to the second and third day, then you get paid for those. But babe, newsflash, I did not get to the second and third day because, oh my god, oh my god. I think the man knew that I lied on my resume saying that I was a barista. Like, low key, babe. Like, I don't know who's gonna watch this, but genuinely, I lied on my resume that I was a barista when I was not. I was not. But you can't get a job if you don't have experience. And you can't have experience if you don't get a job. So all my friends were like, you need to lie on your resume. Everyone lies on their resume. These business bros on LinkedIn, they lie in their resumes all the time, blowing up their statistics and doing all this stuff. And growing up, I thought that was like so unethical because I'm like, oh my god, like you can't lie on your resume, blah 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 blah. I was always the obedient, like etiquette driven, like kid. And then now that I'm in like the actual real world, I'm like, babe, first of all, everyone is lying. Second of all, these people are not paying me for this fucking trial run. Third of all, corporate world, they do not give a fuck about, I can't swear on this. They do not care about you. Like, if you have to lie to get into a corporate job, like you do it, babe, because these corporates, they do not care about you. In this capitalist market, babe, they do not give a flying, they don't. They really don't. And so if you have to lie to get a job and make your bag, as in just be able to afford groceries for the week, then babe, you do that. You do that. And so I was doing that. I still didn't get the job because my shift lead was like, "Oh, actually, instead of working 3 days consecutively, let's have you work the last 2 days of your trial on the weekend, and I'll just talk to my manager and we'll just reschedule you." And I was like, "Okay, perfect." My shift lead, they were so epic. They were literally so fun, so fresh, but like low key, I think that schedule change up literally made me lose that damn job because tell me what, I never got a call back. I did a little text message to my man Mark, and I was like, "Hey Mark, like, can you please schedule me for another shift?" And he said no. He said no, sorry. We don't really have that many shifts to give out, but if we do need someone, we'll let you know. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, someone commented I slide into men's DMs because the worst they can say is no or low key, nothing. Okay, literally real, and I applaud you for that. I applaud you for that. Um, and then what else? Yeah, that brings me to the more dating pool that I've been up to. I've just been like, scoping out the scene. And if your family or friends do not watch this, do not watch this part. Okay, because genuinely, genuinely crashing out. I went on a date with this finance bro who was literally making, I'm assuming now, more than six figures. But I guess he like, I don't know, he was partying all the time. So I'm like, how are you making all this money if you're partying all the time? I was hanging out with them, and then he literally goes, like, last year I was on vacation and I was just like in Tulum. But like, who wasn't in Tulum? Am I right? Girl, I was not in fucking Tulum. What do you mean? Who everyone was in Tulum? And if you don't know, Tulum is like a bougie vacation spot. And then he's like, yeah, like I was supposed to go to London, but like honestly, I just didn't have time. I was supposed to pick up something from London, but I just didn't. Girl, what reality are you living in? Not mine. And the worst part is that this man was like 26 years old. And when I went to go, pay for the drinks that we got because we went to a coffee shop, why did my brain offer to pay for this man? Why did my brain offer to pay for this man when I knew that he literally was way older, as in 3 years older, and had a job? And then I was like, okay, I'll pay. Girl, with what? With what am I gonna pay for? And so I pay. He's like, no, it's okay. I'm like a good person. Like it's okay. You get yours. I'll get mine. And then I really thought about it after the end of the date, and I'm like, girl should have paid for me. Like, what was I doing trying to pay for this man? Oh my god. Like, am I stupid? Am I literally stupid? I'm literally stupid. I don't know if y'all have any questions. I'm like literally, I don't know literally what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm saying. But can anyone else relate to this? Yeah, the job market is crazy right now. It's literally crazy. Um, and people keep sending me all these jobs. I keep asking on Instagram, like, oh, if anyone has like job recs, like, please let me know, or any leads. Because, babes, low key, like, I can do it. If you give me a video editing job, I'll do it. If you give me, oh my god, I just got a text message for someone asking for rent money. Yeah, right. Wow, wow, wow. That was a big wake up call. But I don't know. And then I keep thinking to myself, like, wow, like, why did I move to this city, like, so randomly? I could have literally been doing this in LA. I had a job in LA that I was gonna get, I think, working for this, like, big time gallery. And in the end, I was like, oh, sorry, babe. Like, I actually gonna drop out of this, like, last stage because I am gonna move to New York. And they're like, oh my god, no, blah, 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 blah. So, now I'm just rethinking everything because I'm like, wow, I could have just like been staying in LA chilling and employed, making art, talking to the people who have been in my art community for the past like 4 years that I built up in LA. But no, I just like had to be the early 20-year-old who moved to New York. Ugh, literally. Yes, because why are men actually going on dates but then looking me dead in the eye and saying they aren't ready to date? That's so real. That's very real. Wow, KJ, I feel you. I feel you, babes. But it's just a mess. It's just a mess. I have made some pieces that I do enjoy, and so I think New York did open me up to like new drawings. Like I haven't been drawing like this for a bit, um, but New York really pushed me over the edge for a little hot second, and so I was like drawing things, and I'm actually liking what I'm making here. And I think that the move did help me make better work, quote unquote. But I think I'm still figuring that out. Um, yeah, I really don't know what's going on. I trust that I will get a job, but yes, I relate to this so much. I'm trying to get another job so I can quit my current one. I barely make any money and my paycheck is very inconsistent due to the nature of my job. So are my hours. I'm stressed. Real. I'm thankful to have some sort of income, but my anxiety has been bad because of the situation, child. I'm right there with you. I don't know why. Like, this is the thing. I haven't been as productive as I would like or expected to when I don't have structure. Because when I was in school, I think back and I'm like, I was doing the most. I was in multiple clubs at the same time. I was doing my art assignments, my communications assignments, writing all my essays for that. I had my social media accounts that I was taking care of, and I was trying to do this extra stuff for Art Talk Collective, which is like this little online collective thing that I'm trying to build out. But I was doing all at the same time, and now I can't even like answer like it's like hard to get up and like have the motivation to do anything because I'm like so filled with anxiety of being like, oh my god, like I just need a job. And so I'm applying all these things, like running around with my like a chicken with its head cut off. Not that that will ever happen to me, please. But like genuinely, the anxiety part is so real. I feel like I wouldn't have as much anxiety if I was just like had my damn barista job, you know? But I'm not sure. I don't really know what the vibe is. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's always a mess. But I'm trying to, just do the best that I can while I'm here. There's this really great website called, I think the New York Foundation of the Arts or for the Arts, and I was applying to all the different job opportunities there, and cold emailing people, reaching out. But yeah, I'm not sure, and so I'm starting to think that, oh, you know what? Last case scenario, I should literally just post like art and then um, see if people want to buy my work. But even that, I'm like kind of confused if I should do because I don't like selling my work for some reason. Like, for some reason, I don't like selling my work. I feel like it's so personal and I just don't want to do it. Also, like, I know that a lot of the people who view and support my work, they don't have that much money to spend on artwork. Like, and so I don't know if I'm willing to do that, but we'll see what the vibes are. I was also considering going to a ceramic studio and paying for a monthly subscription to just like start making my ceramic PP tigers again, but I'm not sure if that's gonna work either. Um, Honestly, a couple of my friends could see if they have design work. You might also try summer internship and you work your way into a job. That's true, but I just like don't have time to wait for summer. I don't have time to wait for the summer, and I just low key need a job now. Um, Yep, all you can do is your best. It's terrible that people say they're hiring and don't want to take a chance on a lot of people. Walmart won't even hire me. Literally that part. Literally that part. I've applied to any job, and there's like don't want me, which I get honestly, but I don't get because I'm like, babes, like I could do this. I literally could do this. I've even applied to like video editing positions. It's a chop. Design work. I can do design. Give me some design work, babe. I'll do it. Rejected. Which is fine because like my portfolio is like kind of insane. Like on my on my website portfolio, it's just like a bunch of different apps that I like have made in my head as like speculative designs, and it's about bottoming and it's about the performativity of activism in today's age, which are like two topics I'm really interested in, but I don't think the girls vibe with it because they're not hiring. Um, and it's so crazy because some of the opportunities that I've been getting recently in my inbox, which don't pay, but one of them is like maybe working with like a super reputable media publication, and like someone who's a student reached out and was like, oh, I'm part of this like organization, we'd love to do a story on you blank. And it's like crazy because how am I supposed to adopt the role of like giving people inspiration or words of wisdom when I can't even give a job? Like, you know what I mean? And so just like confusing me in my brain. I'm like, how are people seeing that I'm like this person that is even able to give advice when, babe, my mind is going cray cray. I even got another thing in my inbox, which honestly will probably fall through because that's just how things go, and they haven't responded to my email back. But a pretty big college is having this like Asian American Heritage Month event, so AAPI month, and they're having a ceremony and wanted like a keynote speaker, and they wanted me to do it, and I was like, babe, like I'm so honored and so grateful, and babe, I will do it because I have some things to say, about the just education and institutions and advocating for self in them, but in general, I'm like, how like these people have parents, and the parents are gonna look at me and be like, girl, you don't even have a job, like, and you're trying to give my kid advice, like, you don't have a job. No, babe, I don't have a job. I've applied to literally everything. um and yeah, I don't know, like can you imagine me going up on a stage with like a little pedestal and like a podium, me talking to a mic being like, I just graduated from blah 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 blah, and now I'm in New York and I'm a transplant, and now I'm just like jobless, and now I'm jobless, like, it'd be like that. It literally be like that. I have no idea. Oh, just lie. Oh my god, Perry's in here. Hey, babe. I know, I need to lie more. I need to lie more. What I'm realizing the more I read about, like, um, communism, the more I read about, like, political theory and political ideology, like, genuinely, these corporations, these capitalists, whatever, they do not care about you. They literally don't care about you. They don't care about me. I'm, like, literally expendable. And so, like, if I have to do a little lie here and there to get a job, then I just have to do it. I genuinely admire your words, not because having a job is relatable. So I always enjoy your content. Oh, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. Yeah, we'll see. I feel like it's also crazy because the speech that I might do is literally gonna be on bottoming. It's gonna be on bottoming, babe. Like taking it up the, and I'm gonna tell these college kids about it in front of their parents for for a ceremony for AAPI Heritage Month. Me talking about bottoming during Heritage Month, babe. The ancestors are gonna come and get me. They're gonna come and get my ass. Ooh, they're gonna get my ass. I'm kidding. It's literally gonna fall through. It's literally gonna fall through. I'm not expecting it's gonna happen, but I don't know. And then a high school reached out being like, I'm really obsessed with your PP Tigers, and we want to do a story on it. I'm like, you're a high schooler, just stumbled upon my PP Tigers, and you're obsessed. Like, I love that, but at the same time, I'm like, babe, I'm kind of embarrassed. Like, I keep forgetting people actually see my work sometimes. And then I'm like, wait, what am I telling the girls? Like, what am I telling the girls? It's just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I'm also have my priorities totally out of whack. Like, first, I should just be looking for a job all the time, constantly. But then second, I'm like got myself in a little ideological rut because I'm like, what does it mean to do anything or to even feel good or to have or experience happiness at a time like this? But honestly, like living in contradiction is just what we have to do. And I'm like, girl, let me just stop having these like philosophical, existential, moral debates in my own brainsicle, which is making me go cray cray, and instead just get a damn job. Just get a job. Yeah, and it's crazier because I also try to like go to these art world events, right? And exploring the art scene in New York because that's what I came here to do was just like see the art and everything. And it truly is a different socioeconomic status, playing field, vibe, whatever you want to call it. The people's conversations that I just overhear in galleries are like, oh my god, like I'm just so worried about like blank, blank, and blank. And I'm like, girl, give me a job. Oh my gosh, I have another rant actually. Let me just like this is a whole ranting session. I apologize that all my lives are like literally rants, but that's just what it has to be. Wow, and I just realized that my headphones are not plugged in, so the audio is probably so bad right now. Let me see if I can plug in my headphones. Um, hello, hello. No. Okay, y'all, I'm actually gonna fix this because genuinely it should be fixed. Let me see if I can put my. Oh, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Y'all can hear me. I want to meet you. Please come to my solo in June. Oh my gosh, wait, send me the details on Instagram. I will literally try to come. Cease and perish. Do a flip. I want to do a flip. But babe, I will break something. The Tate McRae like dance challenges that have been going around, babe. I could never. I could never. I could never do a little backflip moment and put my leg up. Like that's just not my vibe. That's just not my vibe, but I wish it was my vibe. Maybe if it was my vibe, I'd get a damn job. I'm kidding. I literally, well, what was I saying? Oh my god, I need to rant. I need to rant because, okay, maybe it's gonna be controversial to talk about, but like, I actually am at my breaking point, at my wit's end. So I need to talk about it. People, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my babe, you have to get prepared for this because babe, this is when I'm gonna go off. I have been told multiple times that I'm like a bad person for feeling the way I do about competition in the art world. Let me just say, like whenever a friend gets a great opportunity, a great thing, the first thing I think of is like obviously celebrating that friend, obviously congratulate them, obviously feeling so good and like being with that and having pride in my friend, being like, yeah, like, you did that, you deserve it. Okay. Then later throughout the day, obviously I'm thinking and like, damn, I go into this kind of comparison mode, which is like, oh wow, I wish um, my art was received in the same way, or I wish like what or like what am I doing wrong, that I just have nothing going for me right now. As in like I don't have a job, I'm not getting any art opportunities, like all the residencies, grants, and everything I've applied to, I've gotten rejected from. Like what am I doing wrong? And I was expressing to some people that about this feeling, and they were immediately like, what? Like, I've never felt that way. Like, I don't think art at all is a competition. Like, you should just be celebratory for your friends. If you think that way, you're actually kind of like a bad person. You should really fix that. And I get where they're coming from because obviously you should be celebrating with your people, and that's what I was doing. But it's impossible to not compare yourself to others. Like, and I think this person just didn't understand that also growing up with like parents or like not I'm saying growing up with a family and coming from a lineage of people who had to literally struggle and fight for literally just staying alive, that like is passed down to you, and especially in like Asian American households, or at least my household, it's like to survive in this capitalist economy, you live in this competitive based economy, you have to like think certain ways of like and am I explaining this even more? Can someone affirm to me that I'm explaining this in a way that's like actually coherent? Like we live in a competitive based economy, and in order to survive you have to participate in that. That is literally what it is. And this art world that we're trying to participate in, art world with a capital A, getting into galleries, getting institutions, that is a competitive model. So to somehow say, oh my god, you're a bad person for thinking that way, it's like, actually, like, please sit with me in the real world and just actually look around. Like, look around. Everything we do in the fucking art world is a competitive based model. And if you don't want to be in that art world that's competitive, then don't be in the gallery space like that. Don't be in fighting for grants and applying to things if you don't want to be in this competitive based model. It's like there are other ways to participate in the art world: making zines, self-publishing, illustration, political cartoons, posting your own things online in accessible democratic ways. You don't have to be applying to those things. You don't have to be applying to residencies and grants. But the fact that you are, and you're getting those things, and you're in these spaces where you're celebrated, suddenly you can turn to people like me or others who are getting rejected from everything and be like, actually, you're a bad person for feeling bad that you haven't gotten anything. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Literally, what are you talking about? Because it's always the people that are, one, so privileged, not just economically. Like, some people did grow up in like really tough times and tough households and tough circumstances and come out of that, but still enter certain spaces where it then gives them like this privilege or skews their perspective on thinking that they're exempt from this competition. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you can be exempt from it, or you could feel like you're exempt from it because you have it. You have it. It's almost like a rich person, like, no, this is like when rich people tell, like, oh my god, I don't even know. It's like, it's the same superficiality as a rich person being like, oh, well, you're just like not a nice person. Like, if you like donated more, if you did like blah blah blah, like, you'd be a good person, but like you're not. It's like, babes, I'm literally just need a fucking job and I need to pay for rent. Um, I cannot be like pretending or acting like a better person or trying to accrue virtue by positioning myself as like a saint or being like self-righteous in any capacity. Like, babe, if I have to like compete literally to feed myself, then like that's what I have to fucking do. Like, oh my god, am I making any sense? Am I literally making any sense? Like, okay, sorry, I'm gonna read the comments now. Okay. I feel you. If you want to make something happen, exactly. The art community can be so harsh. I totally feel the jealousy in comparison. And this is the other thing. I don't even think it's jealousy. Or maybe I'm a jealous person. Maybe I will admit that. I'm sure there are things I can work on too, and like all this stuff. But in general, it's like, hello? Are we in the same world right now? Um, as a minority, it feels like I'm grasping at straws sometimes. Absolutely. Standing out, you mean you tell them to watch Whiplash. Whiplash was crazy. I loved the Whiplash. The real word is we feel like we can't catch up to our peers, and it can be so hard on my psyche. Exactly. Like, social media makes it easy to compare yourself to people. I was interning at an art museum and the art gallery earlier this year, and literally everyone there was a Nepo baby or went to a school with the right person or had rich parents to fund their career. Yes, like, this is just what it is. And if everyone is not aware of it, then like maybe we should tell more people. But I feel like low key, so many people are already aware of like Nepo babies and trust funds and whatever. And still you're gonna have this like attitude of like, oh well, I'm just uncomfortable by your competitiveness. I'm uncomfortable that you just want something. And people also don't know, I don't talk about competition or these things in ways that are actually like um could come off in like aggressive. I don't think. I'm very much the type of person to like, hmm, oh yeah, like sit and nod, because I do try to listen to everyone's perspectives. But at the end of the day, I go home and when I've really sat with these things and like actually thought about them, I'm like, wow, why didn't I say something? Because like low key, like this is all just bullshit. This is like, I don't even know. I don't get it. I don't get it. And also, these perspectives are coming from someone who is very privileged. Like, I would not consider myself like, yeah, there's like racial, along like racial lines, sexuality and blah blah blah. But like in terms of like class oppression, I at the end of the day, if I really needed to, I think I could go back to my parents and just be like, can I stay with you? Can I like fall back onto you because I just tried New York, it didn't work out. I will get a job in my hometown, but I just can't support myself. Will you be willing to let me move back in? That is a privilege that I think I have. Who knows? I will not take that if I really, really don't have to. But like that's a privilege in of itself that like I'm fully aware I have. The financial privilege to move to New York for a couple months with things saved up is a very big privilege. Me attending USC, having no student loans because I graduated with a scholarship, financial aid, and my parents took care of the loans that we took out. It's like that is huge privilege. And so the fact that I'm experiencing this and I have all that privilege is crazy. I'm like, I can only imagine the fucking intensity someone who absolutely came from a family with nothing and trying to enter the art world is experiencing. Like the absolute like, I think I would go crazy. I would literally go crazy. And so I wanted to just say like the privilege part first because I don't want you getting the wrong idea in this rant that like, oh my god, like I'm just like y'all, because I'm sure there are people out there with much thousand billion times harder financial situations, and I'm not going to play or like cosplay as like lower class than I am because that's ridiculous. Like that is ridiculous, and I get so frustrated when influencers like do that. For example, that one kid, who's that white guy on TikTok who like moved to New York and like was in a shoebox, but like his family is like hella rich. Like that's the vibe. Like I'm like that's not a vibe. Um, if you're donation have this fake front of like how good of a person you are. Good people don't have to brag about how nice or good they are. Exactly. And like this is the thing about some. Oh wait, wow, I'm just like talking shit. I feel this is not healthy. This is not healthy, guys. I think I need to literally find Jesus and just like not talk shit. Um, I have and like I'm really not trying to like put people like down like this, but it's just like some people will just be. I don't even know. Just the I thought the fakeness of it. I'm sorry. I can't. I literally am fuming. I can't think right now. I literally can't think. Hello everyone. Sorry, I just went on like a rant for like 10 minutes. If you're new here, and I was just like going off on people who try to just play self righteous. Like I'm a better person than all of you people, and it's just like not a vibe. It's like actually not a vibe because I at least what I am drawn to are the people who are fucked up people, but they own it and they're actively working towards being a better person, right? Because we're all so fucked up in so many different ways, allegedly, potentially. Wow, I'm swearing so much, this is gonna get literally demonetized and like need the money. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. Um, like, wow, what was I saying? Like, for example, I know this person's like has done a lot of like Trisha Paytas. That's my guilty pleasure. Watching Trisha Paytas. Is this a hot take to say that I think Trisha Paytas is more of an appealing figure for having fully posted all of her wrongdoings and is actively trying to maybe be a better person than someone who is like a rich socialite trying to do philanthropy and acting super self-righteous but it's actually like a behind closed doors. Like I would take the Trisha Paytas any day because I know who you are. But for the other people that are acting like they're better than their material actions, it's like, babe, I'm sick of it. I'm literally sick of it. Oh my gosh. Um, I feel so bad for the people who just hopped in because I'm actually being like a negative Nancy, and usually I don't get this worked up, but I'm just like feeling it, and obviously the title of this is literally crashing out, and that's like what I'm low-key doing. You missed my videos. That's really sweet. I think I will do maybe a studio vlog soon, but I don't know. I've been drawing, but babe, I've just been basically crashing out. You just like authenticity. That's not wrong. I think that's what it is. And I think it's refreshing when everything is super ironic online, whether it's memes, memes about memes, post irony, where there's a lack of sincerity and intimacy in everything that we do online because we're so afraid of being real, or we're afraid of being embarrassed that somehow we'll really like something or we'll love something and it won't work out, and everyone will have to see that we put our time and energy and love into something and it flopped, and people are scared to be embarrassed. But at the end of the day, babe, like, we can't just keep self-surveilling and acting under this like eye from above. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine to be embarrassed about things. And I also think that, like, I'm staying tuned for, there's this one book coming out about trauma in culture and trauma studies, and how we've also, at the same time as like we like yearn for authenticity in this post ironic landscape, that we've also commodified trauma, and we've used trauma and um, negative experiences as a way to leverage our own personal brands or our own personal um, online image. And I think that's totally true, and maybe I'm even guilty of that as well. But they're talking about how people are very quick to commodify their trauma, and it's their trauma, they can do what they want with it. But if everyone's commodifying their trauma and trying to capitalize off of it, then what does that do for trauma studies as a whole, and what does that do for our general culture? And I think I've been thinking about that a lot. And so I don't know what it means to be authentic anymore in the online space, but I'm trying to just like think out loud, and maybe hopefully that is helping. But yeah, who knows? I don't know. Like, this post trauma thing, basically how they were outlining it was like, it started really a lot with Oprah's show, and Oprah talked about the abuse that she endured as a kid and whatever, and immediately after, like, became this kind of like best-selling author, had like a reading list for trauma. Like, it was very, put everything out in the open, which was like a really brave and courageous act. But it also inspired a new wave of how celebrities will come out with their traumatic stories right when they're getting canceled, or will come out with just random things to leverage their own brand. And like, it could be authentic, but I don't know. It gets really complicated. So I don't even know what authenticity means anymore. Um, you caught alive. Oop, what are we talking about? We're talking trauma in the digital age. We're talking about trauma in the digital age and what it means to commodify your own experiences, which were negative, for elevating your personal brand, and what it means to try to be authentic in a world where, one, that is happening, and simultaneously on the other side of the coin, you have people who refuse to be authentic because they're scared of being judged. Like, in my generation, at least, I'm 23, old. I get it. I get it. But also, if anyone's older than me on this live stream, you're so young. I love that for you. But like, at the same time, the coin, like, my generation is very ironic. Like, everything online has to be a meme. Everything has to be thought of as a meme. When you're watching things online, immediately my first thought is to go to the comments. My first thought is to go to the comments and see what other people are saying, and it's this like need to know how people are being perceived at all times, and that has created like a sense of surveillance. And like, we ourselves are in a panopticon, and we are like also the tower watching over. Like, it's just crazy, the layers of surveillance that we're undergoing because we're constantly thinking about how people are perceiving our actions online is just insane. And like, obviously that's bad for mental and just in-person communication or whatever. But I think I'm gonna try to stay tuned and just keep up on what the girls are talking about in that sphere. um yeah, it's just crazy. It's insane. And then you go even another layer and think about how we're being surveilled by the government online. I sound like a crazy person. But there's just so many levels to everything, and it's just like exhausting. And this is why I need a job, so I don't have time to think about these things. Because if I have time to think about and read about all these random things, then babes, I will literally spiral, and that's what's happening. And that's what's happening for the crash out. I have no idea if I can even keep us up on YouTube after this, because this might just not exist after. It'll be ephemeral. An ephemeral vibe, because I'm talking about the craziest shit on here, and I feel so bad. I'm like, damn, like, literally the girls are gonna think I'm actually cuckoo, which maybe possibly, but it'd be like that. No, these levels are leveling and it's all too much. I'm with you. Thank you. I'm glad someone's at least like understanding a bit because I know I'm going off. And here's another thing I'm really, really interested in right now, and maybe some people can give me some helpful tips. But I was reading about this person named Greg Bordowitz, who is the head of the Whitney Independent Study Program. Very prestigious. He's an artist, a video artist, and he's also an activist back in the AIDS movement. So he was really involved in ACT UP, and he was talking about how what do you call it? Oh, good luck with applying for art school. Yes, I need to marry rich. I do. But he was talking about how there's a difference between the gay rights model and the gay liberation model, and I'm just starting to learn these two definitions and like build them out myself, so I'm not an expert. I'm just thinking about loud about things I'm thinking about. And the gay rights way of organizing and protesting is around kind of like assimilating to like the government and the culture that is dominant. So if you think about heteronormativity and white heteronormativity, a lot of it has to do with marriage, right? So this fight for gay marriage is an example of a gay rights movement, which is good and it's completely valid, but also it might not be long term sustainable because you're not fighting for liberation. And the thing about the difference is that in the gay liberation movement, gay liberation was all about being out and proud and incorporating your queerness into other revolutionary movements. For example, there were a lot of homosexuals who were out and proud in the Black Panther movement and all this stuff. And what happened was with the gay rights movement started happening, you had all these like different people suddenly condense into one group that was very easily classifiable or commodifiable even, and could be surveilled more easily because all of a sudden you gave a name to something like gay rights and then you have these people suddenly clustering to form like their movement. But then what that also inherently could potentially do is fracture and stratify these different movements, so now you're no longer organizing together as a whole, you're now organizing along different lines to give your group rights. Do you know what I mean? And there's something, in my view, really appealing and beautiful about opening that up and suddenly organizing with everyone as a collective, because when you organize as a collective and you're fighting for like that liberation, like you will fight for the liberation of all people. And I think that that's kind of what I've been really interested in. um Let me look at the comments. That's low key what I like about your channel. You speak so freely about your thoughts and opinions. Oh, thanks. Um, so no more gay cops, no more gay mirrors, but not in an oppression sense, but in a liberating sense, breaking from capitalism and oppression. Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. And I'm like so trying to educate myself on a bunch of theory at the same time, but I'm also trying to be open about like my thoughts and thinking about this on live stream at least, because I feel like I want to be more open about being wrong with things. I want to be open about how I've shifted from this very staunchly, I'm a Democrat, I'm liberal, and blah, 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 and now transitioning away from that and being actually like, there's so many different limitations within liberalism, and like, it has honestly kept a cap on our liberation. And so how do I move now closer to like the left or whatever, and think about more political ideology? But it's hard because I guess I'll be very candid about this. As I've gotten into more of these spaces, um, it feels difficult having an opinion knowing that I haven't read enough. I haven't done the work of reading all these books that everyone else is reading, and so it feels like having a take is coming from an educated, ignorant place, which is true to an extent. But also, it's like what? It's like, so I can't have an opinion or a take unless I've finished reading like 10 different books, and that could be the case. But it's just a lot of it's just a lot. I have no idea where my head is at because now I'm like moralizing every decision I make and like realizing it's actually impossible to try to be like a good person, quote unquote. And having these like moral dilemmas is actually not helpful either for general overall movements, because I'm wasting time like having moral battles or whatever, because one, morals could be socially constructed, you could argue, and so is virtue. And it's more about if what you're doing is effective or ineffective for pursuing your goal of like liberating people. And it just gets on my head because I'm like, babes, like I'm doing all these thought experiments and all these thoughts in my brain circle, but I don't have a job. Like I need to get a job. I need to worry about getting a job first. Like, babes, maybe think about paying your bills first before you start thinking about all this theory. But how could you not when the world is literally going crazy? It's so easily overwhelming because you literally link every time of oppression there's ever been. But we gotta stay strong, real. It's so wild. I will mention, I think there's an economic blackout tomorrow if y'all are interested in participating where no one's gonna buy anything. Um, I think it's worldwide, but maybe just for people in the States if you are interested in partaking. But I'm throwing it out there. Right now, there's a lot of people who don't give space to care, have genuine discussion about how to educate. I think that's really true, and also I think that comes out of frustration. Like what has been the most appealing to me, especially when I've been trying to educate myself and like enter certain queer spaces that are also queer activist spaces, things that I was missing from other activist spaces that the queer people brought in, babe, was love. Like, wow, I was so down. I was so in my head about everything and just like really tearing myself apart for how I think about the world and just like not knowing enough. And then I came into this queer space and they're immediately like, don't give yourself hard times or whatever. Be encouraged and motivated to try to do more. But when we think about revolution or activism, we think about it in a broad but also focused term. Like you can't just be doing nothing and saying you're an activist. You know what I mean? I'm not an activist. I'm not an activist. I'm not a revolutionary. I like that is an insult to people who actually do work. Miss Greta Thunberg, thank you. But it's that you all are motivated to do this out of love. It's not this angsty, like, oh, I'm revolting against the system, blah, 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 blah. It's genuinely like, wow, no, actually, how do you go from thinking that, like, revolution or whatever is, like, futile and improbable and stupid to then thinking, like, actually, all this is birthed out of love and optimism? Like, how optimistic is it that your efforts will help lead to like systemic change? That optimism and the love that you have for your community and like your neighbors is important, and I'm just trying to lead more with that because that's a more positive mindset to do. And so that's what I'm thinking right now. But it's just all tough because especially online, like I'm no longer, I'm like, wow, I'm going off and this is crazy. I never thought I'd talk about this online because if I end up having to take a sponsorship, babes, I'm gonna take that damn sponsorship. You know what I mean? Like I will like engage in this capitalistic blah 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 because I just need a check right now. Low key. But and so I've been like very hesitant to talk about this online. But I'm just gonna be open and out there, right? Like I'm not gonna I don't think one discourse online is actually effective at all. Like on the low. I think it sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not. It's just people fighting with each other who actually are in the same movement, but they're just like fighting each other. And I don't know. It's just crazy because like we're not getting anything done online, and I'm trapping myself in online circles, and it's honestly not making me feel good. And people are just fighting with each other and like screaming at each other, saying like you're a bad awful person, you're a bad awful person. And then people are rallying behind both sides. People are fighting with each other in the comments, and I'm like, damn, babe, like this is confusing and also like a waste of time. Like if we had this same energy towards like the government or people in charge of things right now, like maybe we get something done, but no, we're all just stuck online. Like, babe, go to your community organizing events, like go to do something in person. And so that's what I've been trying to do offline. And I encourage the people who are compelled to do something, maybe go in person or just like talk to your community and see what you could do. Um, but that's why I've been hesitant to talk about it. But that's just what I'm interested in right now. But yeah, I am trying to get a job. Would you ever do a gig job for a little Uber Eats moment? My mom and I did it for a minute until she returned for work. I would do that. I just don't have a bike, and I can't really like go around the city efficiently to give people food on time. So I've been nervous about that, but we'll see. Brett, come to Germany, please. You can crash on my couch whenever. That's very sweet, Jamie. Um, the way you approach others is very important to form community and positive relationships. It can be easily frustrating, but you pick and choose how to distribute your energy. Ah, thanks. Yeah, I'm trying. And this is not to like talk about this and suddenly like pat myself on the back, being like, I did it today. I talked about revolution and activism and I'm done. It's like, no. Like, first, in order to actually be helpful, babe, I needed to get a job. Because if I cannot afford to, like, live or eat, then, babe, like, how the fuck am I gonna help other people? You do know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I need to fix that first. And then when I have the time and the space, I will go back into like reading more and being more active in the community. But even just like living in New York, I've been really inspired by the people I'm around, the circles that I'm in, and seeing how other people help other people, especially with the train system here being so awesome, where people can really just like organize really quickly, and that's been nice to see. But I'm kind of just going on random tangents. My God, my God, babe, tangents galore. Um, Let me see these comments, babe. Let me see these comments. Um, let's see. Um, is growing an audience online even relevant anymore to the art world? Wow, I need to do a bigger topic on this. Genuinely, like I and a lot of my friends who post their work online have not been called serious artists or not been um talked to like we're actual artists. It's mainly just like, oh wow, you just post little fun goofy videos online, your art doesn't mean that much then. And I'm like, you can be a serious artist and also post your work online. Like they're not mutually exclusive. Like it's so random. And so it has hurt me in a couple opportunities, but at the end of the day I need to reconsider, like, do I even want the opportunities where you have to act a certain way in order to be part of that space? It's like, no, I could act how I want to act, and if you don't like it, then I'm not gonna bend myself to fit your idea of what is an art or what is an artist. Like, I'm not gonna do all that because one, what does that tell the people who like also follow me? It's like, what? Okay, guys, let's get together and let's just bend the knee to the big man who's controlling the gallery system. Like absolutely not. And yeah, there's moments obviously where you just want to conform, and like I will like bend a knee here and there, bend a knee to appease some people. Sure, I'm not saying that that's like not what I'm gonna do. um but I'm trying actively to be cognizant of when I do that and intentional of what spaces I try to do. Wow, that was like a bunch of words. I said nothing, y'all. I'm literally crashing out. I'm making absolutely no sense. I need to do like a cohesive video on that. But yeah, let's see. I was a glorified cart boy slash janitor for my first job that made my mindset where I'll do anything if I got to. Um, okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know what's happening. Cause also, the thing is, I keep saying like, oh, I should be accepted in the art world, art with a capital A. Like I want to be accepted into the galleries. I want to be accepted into museums and all this stuff. And then the more I think about it is like, do I actually want that? I have heard horror stories of people who, let's say they become a full-time artist. Suddenly their entire world, that being their house, how they feed their family, how they like feed themselves, is dependent on the art market and how these galleries represent them. They are tied at the hip to these institutions, and the moment they actually wanted to have a voice, stand up for what they believed in, they were dropped. People think that artists have a voice, right? Oh, we're supporting the little guy, we're taking a stand. But it's always the stand that the institutions want to take, and the moment there's a disconnect between you and what they want, they can drop you. So then I'm like, would I really want to be in this community, or do I want to make my money somewhere else, not have to worry about any of that, and just make the art I want to make and say what I want to say? There, I think, I don't know who it was, but I've heard stories of this one artist in New York who spoke out about the G side in Palestine, and literally like within a week all of their art was put on auction at the same time by the collectors who collected their art, and immediately their value as an artist became zero. They become nothing because once everyone is trying to sell your art, what does that mean? Your art is now worth zero because your art is a commodity within this field, and how it circulates is what it's valued at. And with everyone selling it, it became worth like Nothing, and that tanked her career or their career. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was a woman, but I'm not sure. So like, do I really want that? Am I really like begging and dying for that to happen? Like, no, no. So I don't know. I have so many thoughts goals in my brain, and I'm like, damn, what does a girl do? What does a girl do? Um, yeah, I've been talking for almost an hour. This is kind of crazy. Wow, the Germans are really kicking it in the chat. Um, you would love to see a video on this topic. Love that. Shortest romance. Oh, what is going on? I really missed the whole relationship in this chat. Damn. Um, I think I might end it here. That was no. I need to end on a positive. I need to end on a positive because I cannot do this. I cannot end like this. I will say that I'm really happy and I'm lucky and I'm very privileged to be in New York. I'm a relatively young person trying to figure it out in this world that's completely messed up, and I'm just trying to find my footing. And if I guess this lives in a space or gets clipped, maybe hopefully I'll keep it up on YouTube. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll delete it in like 2 seconds. But I am willing for anything in this video or all my thoughts and opinions to be amended. I am speaking out of a very heated mindset and very passion filled mindset. And yeah, I'm totally willing and open to change, critique, and etc. I also recognize that I will be living in contradiction, and if I take a sponsorship, babe, then I take a sponsorship. There are brands I would work with. Period. There are brands I would love to work with, but um, it's hard to talk about all this like social theory and stuff, and then all of a sudden take a sponsorship. Like that's crazy. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I am leaving that there because, babe, if I ever get flack for that, just know I was open and honest about everything, or trying to be at least. Okay. Much love, y'all. I am gonna go now, but thanks for watching. This was a crazy one. This was a particular crazy live stream. Maybe I'll do more of those. If I should do more, like, oh my gosh, yes, everyone in here, can you please like this damn live stream? Like, that would be everything. That would literally be everything, and that would help so much. If you can literally just like this damn stream, that would be everything. And also, there's a huge love thing going on between Jamie and Jonathan. Ugh, love that. Make my bread. Thank you. Thank you. John and wow, I literally think that's so funny. Y'all are eloping. I need to literally take a screenshot of this. Oh my god. Can all wow. I need to be in the wedding. Can I officiate the wedding? I've always wanted to officiate a wedding. John and you are eloping. Guys, if this actually happens, you need to DM me on Instagram and tell me if you actually like me in person. Um Y'all are insane, and y'all are just like me. Y'all are literally just like me. Damn. How are people finding love in my chat, but I can't find love in person? That's messed up. But I'm so happy for all of you. So happy. I'm kidding. Okay. Much love, y'all, and I will see y'all soon. Bye bye.